another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and a 1% Club. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. I took a couple of days off to kind of relax a little bit and try to get some things done. Of course, as you can see that I've gotten some trimming here for the summertime that grows back so fast with retention. It's amazing how fast it'll grow back. So you'll see within probably 2 or 3 weeks, the hair is growing all back in. But it's a little too hot right now, so I don't like it that hot. So hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are conquesting yourself as well as other things under God's purposes. And hope you guys are really controlling the things around you through the grace of God. So hope you guys are doing well. All right, so let's do some shout outs. But first I want to mention that I became aware of messages being sent to me to an email. Now, I have relatives and other people who have emails who are connected to the channel. So I don't really take a look at that. They're not coming to me directly. But I did get a couple from John Dew, and so I apologize. I didn't realize they were sending them to different emails. And then also Rupert. So I kind of want to include what they're talking about in our discussion today. So we're going to do that a little bit as we go through. But thank you guys. I'm still also working on consulting and trying to connect with you guys personally, because I'm thinking that some of those emails you guys are sending to me are more personal, and I don't want to share that information, in a video or anything like that. So, but thank you guys for sending those things out. Like I said, I got those late. I'm not sure exactly when some of those sent. I got to check the dates that people sent those, but I'm happy to respond back and help anybody. But I got to kind of organize myself a little bit more with the consulting and even a live stream type of thing. So we'll get there, but just continue doing these type of videos until we get to that point. So, but thank you guys anyway. So the whole idea that we're really talking about here is today, and we're talking about, and I'll do another video tomorrow and do more shout outs tomorrow, but what we're talking about is Great Warriors and SR. And the Great Warriors that we're talking about are all of you guys, all the people who are on retention, who've been retention throughout the years. This comes from Byron, and also a new comment from Al McDaniel. And Al, thank you for your comments, and a couple good comments here we'll kind of talk about as we go through. So we talk about a great warrior. This is 2 minutes and 30 seconds here we're talking. So we're talking about a great warrior. What is a great warrior under Semen Retention? Great warriors are those who are able to follow their path through God. Now, part of this is the fact that in our society, most of us are blocked. We're blocked by ourselves. Now, I think it was like, who was it? Maybe Martin. Let me just double check the person I'm talking about here. A person was talking about the Richard Smith. I'm sorry, Richard Smith. Richard's talking about the 7 deadly sins. And he's right on target. We're going to do a special one on that. But when we talk about the sins, we're talking about things like greed and sloth and gluttony, all these things. Those are things that block us from God and block us from being successful. If you really look at things, and I know as a warrior, my issue was needing dominance and being addicted over the years. And so I could tell you all the things that I was addicted to when it comes to video games and drinking, all kinds of stuff over the years. But a lot of that stuff held me back from connecting to God. And so we talk about great warriors. The great warriors are those who have overcome these 7 deadly sins, as well as building that confidence and that faith that comes from being able to be a strong, masculine, high-value male. And as time goes on, you're focusing on the spiritual aspect of things, and you're getting away from those other things. Now, this takes time. So we talk about trying to relapse, when people mentioning relapse and they have struggled. Remember, guys, this is a lifestyle change. To be a great warrior, you have to be able to continually battle the evil one. And the evil one will throw all kinds of things at you. Like we talk about deadly sins, and we'll talk more about this in a specific one. But when we talk about the deadly sins, let's kind of go over some of these real fast here to you kind of see what makes a great warrior. So let's talk of these. So we're talking about, and I gotta get back to this. I know someone's mentioning for me not to ruffle the pages, so I'll do a better job with that. But let's look at these. Okay, so pride. The first one is pride. So as you look at this whole thing, obviously, when you are practicing retention, you're not going to be as prideful because your relationship with God will increase. And so as your relationship with God increases, now you realize there's something more than you. I always make the argument that as people grow, they figure out that they are no longer God. They think they're God. Many of us are, when we're younger, we don't really know anything. We're just kind of experiencing, we have arrogance, super confidence in ourselves, but we don't really appreciate God. It's not until we get older that a lot of people appreciate God more. But the idea is that you're really thinking you're God. You're acting like I have no consequences when I'm younger. I can do anything I want. And this is how we get involved in all the deadly sins. And pride is one of those. And the evil one takes advantage of that for you to be able to handle, any kind of difficulties you have in life. And until you have problems, you're not going to lean on something outside of yourself. If you can't handle a problem, now you go to God. And that's not the way that we should be operating. You should be operating every day and talking with the Lord and talking with your Creator and be able to kind of focus on being able to deal with life's issues. And I think Mona Lisa was talking about living in the present moment. That's a very good comment. We need to live in the present moment. What's happened in the past is the past. The future you can't tell. All you can tell is one day at a time and focusing on. This is why we talk about one of the suggestions we always have is every day is a new day to a warrior. Every day you're looking at just developing a new sense of ideas, purpose, everything you want to do, you're moving towards your purpose every single day. But going back to the ideas of the deadly sins, for those to become great warriors, you have to kind of get away from the world. Get away from what the world is telling you, the flesh of the world, right? And pride is one of those. What's another one that was listed here? So we're talking about greed. Well, of course, if you are a person who is on retention, one of the benefits of that is being calm and not being greedy. You're not going to be greedy. And the fact of the matter is that you have abundance, you're trusting in God, you're focusing on your relationship with the Lord and your Creator, and so basically you don't have a need to be greedy. Why? You're looking at life in a whole different way. Your whole lifestyle is different. Yes, you may have abundance, but you're probably going to end up giving more money. Tithing like I do, or giving money to people who need money. You realize how less important money is as you're more and more in a streak, because you become more spiritual. And so that's why semen retention can really help you with that one. What's another one? Lust, of course. Well, we know lust, right? Lust is something that can be handled through retention. You're not going to be lusting after people all the time if you're retaining. Are you still going to have those issues of releasing? Yes. But as we talk about this, and as we talk about releasing, it's important to understand that you're in a lifestyle change. And yes, you can count every day and start counting days just to kind of give you a boost to build up your endurance and your immune system to try to continue to have this lifestyle where you're not releasing. You're not looking at images you're not going to release. But the bottom line is that we're all making mistakes. I make mistakes in monk mode a lot. So I'm still working on monk mode myself. But the idea is you're going to keep trying to better yourself. And as you better yourself, you're going to learn how to deal with things more. It's like putting a puzzle together. And so when we talk about releasing and these type of things, don't give up. The key is to continue trying to figure this out. And you may have family members who are supporting you. They may not support you. They may not know nothing about semen retention. They may not trust it. They may think, well, everybody else in the world is telling you differently. But that's what the evil one, to my mind, is telling us. Follow the world's ideas, and you should be releasing 3, 4, 5 times a day. Well, I have found after 3 years That's the opposite. I feel tremendous. I have had no issues at all, health issues, all through this situation we had recently. I've had no issues whatsoever. Haven't been sick, haven't missed a day of work since, I don't know, 2003 or something like that. So the idea is that this, to me, is the right road. This is the way life should be. Now, that's why we're only 1%, because most people don't believe in this. But you've got to continue to go on the path. If you really want to believe in this, you're going to have to break away from other people. You're going to have to be different than a normal person. Normal people don't believe in this. Now, one day they may, and years ago, a lot more people believed in this than now. Celibacy, Sophism, Brahmacharya, a lot more people believe in this. But especially the people of the Western world struggle with this concept because it doesn't seem like it's fun. And once again, when we talk about the deadly sins, all those sins are fun. People get excited. The devil can play on that, and they like playing on that. So continue some of these other ones, right? Envy, of course. You're not going to have a lot of envy when you're on retention. You're basically focusing on you and yourself running your own race in life. You don't need to worry about other people. You're not going to get jealous of other people. But if you're releasing, you'll notice you get more jealous. You're more upset because you're weaker. You're not strong enough to deal with these emotions. Remember, detaching is the key. Detaching, everything is different. You don't need to be attached to things. That's a hard lesson to learn, but you got to learn how to detach, non-attaching, like our samurai swordsman. My O2, and let me say this right, because I know we had somebody who mentioned that. I really butchered it. I did really butcher it. Musashi. Yeah, Musashi. Maybe I got that right. Musashi, fine. All right, good. All right, anyway, the idea is that we have to be able to realize that we are different than the people in the world. We're going to get criticized and laughed at, but this is what warriors do. Warriors stand above the rest. Not that they're better than everybody else, but they stand above because they are taking the leadership and taking the shots from people, criticism, laughter, whatever it might be, because you're standing up for something. You believe what is right, and you need to have that belief. Gluttony, right? Wrath and sloth, all these, the same thing we're talking about here. So when we talk about these things, of course, you're not going to be eating yourself silly, right? You're not going to be engaging in all these behaviors, being angry, right? I get angry every so often, but it's so much different than it was even 3 years ago. Because the idea is that you're learning how to control yourself. And the more you can control yourself, the less you're going to have these kind of problems. So the great wars we're talking about, and Byron and once again Al's talking about, is the idea that warriors, as you get more experience, as you do this, you become wise. You get wisdom, right? I'm 62 years old, right? And no matter how I look, I still have that ideas of 62 years old. All the things I learned that I could use. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing a lot of these broadcasts. And really the only reason I'm doing them at this point in time is basically to provide information, because I'm really worried about the way our world is going, especially with our young men. Now, I love women, and women are wonderful, whether they're mothers, companions, but the issue to me is the issues of images and the issues of young men falling prey and being brainwashed when they don't have a lot of positive role models, and they don't have a lot of society telling them that they're strong, or they're good, or they're good leaders. All that stuff that used to be the case has been changed because of a different agenda out there. But this is why I do a lot of these, because I want people to realize that it doesn't have to be this new way. And in fact, this new way is wrong. It's demasculating males, making males weak. And who's going to defend our country? As much as I like females, they're just not as strong as males across the board. And so when you really look at the situation, the males are the ones that have to stand up and rise up. And if they don't, then our country's going to fall apart. I mean, all you got to do is look at situations and seeing how, if men are weak, what's going to happen. It's going to be very easy for someone to come in and take over our towns or cities or families and things like that. We have to be able to defend ourselves. But if you're not, if you're a simp male who doesn't want to get stronger physically, mentally, spiritually, then who in the world is going to protect and provide for our nation and for our country and for our towns and for people? This is why great warriors, all the way from Alexander the Great to anybody you want to look at, even Julius Caesar, all these people you're looking at over the years, Napoleon, great warriors, they practice some level of retention. Now, you could argue, as you could argue with people in history, that people have bad intentions. Well, just because you're practicing retention doesn't mean you're going to have good retention. You're going to have good intentions. You could still get involved with the sins. But the chances are a person who is getting closer to God through retention is also going to take on a lot of the other disciplines of their Creator or their God. And they're going to go ahead and be able to do things that are positive for people, helping people, and not do things that are going to be destroying people and hurting people. And that's kind of the difference between it. Yes, you get people who are going to be strong and they're going to do these things and taking over, and you see this all the time. You've seen it through history. But those people eventually self-destruct, as you've seen with all history, because they become dictators, they want to control people, and they're following the opposite way away from what God intended. And that's why when you see leaders like Muhammad Gandhi, who could move millions of people, did not have that sort of viewpoint, right? That person wanted to help other people, not hurt people. And you see this all the time in our history. So this is why we talk about the fact that as a person who's a great warrior, and all of you in this audience are great warriors. Now, whether or not you're on the 1%, whether or not you're just listening because you want to listen, whether you're man, woman, you're all great warriors. You have that potential to be that great warrior. But are you going to sit there and follow what they're telling you in the media? The matrix we have out there, people telling you things? Or are you really going to go ahead and do the research, find out what's really good for you, find out what you should be doing, and lead the charge? Be a leader. Don't be a follower. And that's what I think that most of our warriors are. Now, we may still have some warriors who are going back and forth, but that's part of the process. I was doing that for years. The key to everything is your relationship with your Creator, your God. Those relationships are important. The more you retain, the more you listen to the spiritual side of things, and the less you're trying to focus on the material wealth. You're not interested in money. I know that my issue with a lot of the addictions that I had have been solved. Now, I still have a few of them, right? I mean, I have tremendous sexual energy, so part of the problem is I have to continue to be on vigilant, because that's something I have to keep transmuting, because there's a huge amount of it still left in me. And so I have to continue to transmit that. But as far as gambling goes, video, drinking, smoking, all these type of things, I overcame a lot of those years ago. So the thing is, I'm focusing right now on the actual spiritual side of things, the better with the Lord. And the more I do that, the more this becomes easier. I can't do it myself. I have to focus on help from the Creator, the God that you pray to, that you meditate to. Those are the things you're focusing on. And if you do that, then you become someone the Lord, the God, your Creator is going to use to become that great warrior that's going to lead us. And once again, males, we need to do two things in this world. One, provide, build things so the society gets better. And two, protect. Be there and be strong. Don't be some kind of weakling out there who's afraid of their own shadow. This is not the way the world is. The world should be. Now, this may tell you this. They may be telling you this is the way they want the world to be, but you have a choice to listen to this. And by retaining, you're making that choice not to listen to what the normal people out there, quote normal, want to say. In fact, what they're doing is setting another agenda for their own purposes, more than likely to try to control people. The more they get you demasculized, the more they can control yourself. And so you're not in control of yourself, and you need to be in control of yourself. As you control people, as you control yourself, you control situations. Guys, I don't think people realize how we only use 10% of our brains. There are so many things physically in your body that can heal you. There is no knowledge of people. Most people have no clue of this. They think they've been brainwashed into saying, okay, only medicine can help you. Well, medicine can help you at times, but faith in God and your Creator and faith in those things go a long way in also helping you. And your body can heal very quickly. Break a bone, it heals stronger. It just shows you there's things in your body can do that, right? So the idea is that you can become a great warrior, but you have to practice the idea of self-control, controlling yourself first, and then you're able to control life around you. All right, once again, thank you, Byron. Thank you, Al McDaniel, for your comments. Also, thank you, Richard Smith, helping as well. I'm going to do one tomorrow morning, and we'll try to kind of catch up with some of the shout-outs as well. But until then, my friends, have a great rest of the evening. God bless you guys on a Sunday. And 2 things to remember. Every day is a new day to a great warrior. And number 2, guys, we have to continue to be vigilant because the evil one is right around the corner, ready to tempt us to situations that are going to lead us down to destruction. And so, because of that, we have to